What is up, guys? Welcome to another video. We're going to be covering a lot of the changes that were implemented in the ranked beta, something that we can all look forward to when maybe in the next patch they'll release some of it. Maybe it'll be in the big spring patch. We don't really know, but well, I don't know anyway. But basically, I'm going to run through a lot of the changes that were implemented, stuff like UI changes, hotkey changes, some map changes as well. Also, a few little hidden nerfs that we can see throughout the game, one including the demo ship nerf, which is nice. But I'm going to be running through all of the stuff that I came across and that I've seen a bunch of other streamers come across as well. So stay tuned and let's get into it. Alright, so first of all, we're going to take a look at some of the UI changes within the game. Some of these are really nice, really good quality of life features. So one of the first things you may have noticed up the top here, you can see that there now is a global queue. Now, obviously it's not the most ideal position for a global queue, scanning your eyes to the top right hand up there, but nonetheless, it's a really nice feature. So now you can know if your account center is idle. You can see what text are in queue. In this game, I'm obviously playing Delhi, so there is a lot of text in queue. But you also have the option of changing it to only see text or to only see units and villages that are in queue. So really nice change, something that I was really looking forward to, and now it's here. Another small cool thing as well is that you can actually cancel production or your technologies from your global queue. The way you do this is just hold control and then click on it. So you don't actually have to go back to your barracks, say, to cancel a pikeman in queue. You can do that through the global queue. Not sure how much use this will get, but nice little feature nonetheless. So one of the first nice changes that I noticed in the ranked beta, I should say, is the UI for taking a look at your unit stats. So we're taking in blacksmith upgrade. First one we're going to take a look at is ranged attack on our archers. As you can see, here are all the base stats, but no longer do we have to actually calculate the base stats and what is added on top of that. We can see very clearly what upgrades our opponent has. So +1 ranged attack in now. We'll get the ranged defense in soon as well. So really nice changes here. Really happy with these. Also, another really great feature as well is no longer will you be confused as to how fast your units are. You can take a look at the movement speed here. 1.25 select all pagodas. Much more clear, much more easy to understand what is going on here. So now we'll easily be able to identify how fast our units are, which is great. So +1 range defense here coming in, +1 melee defense over on the left side here. No longer will we be confused as to what upgrades our opponent has. So really nice change, really love that stuff. So let's get into the other changes in the game. Another neat little detail, if you are a HRE main, is you can now check how many prelates you have, which is cool. I mean, this is something small, something nice for any of you HRE lovers. It definitely will be helpful to me every now and again to know how many prelates I have, especially when aging up to castle and, you know, collecting those relics, having the right amount of prelates, not accidentally making too many. Small change, but nice. And now we can finally check the post-game map. So once you finish a game, you'll have the option to continue and then see the post-game stats. But if you prefer, you can take a look at what your opponent did. So you can go and take a look if he made an extra town center. You wanted to see how hard he boomed off the back of that. Obviously, you can check the villager graph for that, but being able to see the map post-game is really nice. See where he's collecting certain resources or anything like that. So once you go into the post-game stats as well, you actually will be able to get back onto the map as well. You just have to click the little back key up the top left-hand corner, and then you'll be able to go and browse the map and see what your opponent was doing. On top of this, you can also, in the post-game, you can see the previous chat messages throughout the game. Another nice little touch there, so you can basically backlog and take a look at what they were saying. If you're too concentrated or for whatever reason you may want to use it for, it's there now, so you can use it. You also will be kind of seeing some sexy new ranks, as you can see here. Boys, we're gold. We're freaking gold. We're stuck in Elo Hell if we were in a... But these are the ranks, all the way from bronze up to conqueror. 1 being the higher division, So initially they released it as 3 being the higher division, but now they've reverted it back to something along the lines of the League of Legends ranks here. And we're going up from bronze 3 to bronze 1, silver 3 to silver 1, etc, etc. Top being Conqueror 1. Now I'm not sure how many plays, like if there's going to be like a limit like a lot of other games have. Like for example, in Challenger, there's a certain amount of slots available for players. I wonder if they'll implement something like that, or if they'll just have like a bunch of people in Conqueror without any limits. Obviously, you just have to be high enough skill level to get there. So that's going to be our goal when the new season comes around, or the ranked season, I should say. Our goal will definitely be to be hitting the Conqueror status. Conqueror 1 might be a bit of a stretch, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll get a gauge on it as the game is released in ranked mode. As you can see, as you go up through the individual ranks, you have Silver 3, Silver 1, all of them having a slightly different aesthetic to them. This one has a kitchen fork along with an axe, whereas the first one only has a sword. Same goes for here, or with a slightly different, bigger background. Platinum getting bigger once again, getting a glowing kitchen fork in this one. Then big shiny. Another neat little feature that has been implemented is the patrol feature. So with your unit, based on where it's standing at that certain point, you can patrol, say, from this area to this area, scout or military, whatever it may be. Will then start moving up and down in that direction. And not only that, it also is the equivalent of an attack move. So if an opponent comes into the line of sight of that unit of where it's patrolling, your unit will automatically start attacking. So this is really nice for, especially on water maps. Like as you can see, this guy's patrolling the home base here. These guys are patrolling up on the opponent's side. So if you get your opponent off water, you can now patrol your attack ships to go backwards and forwards without having to shift click them like 100 times for it to work. And as you can see, this fishing boat came within the patrol distance of this boat. It attacks it and then it goes back to patrolling, which is really nice. Another thing that has been discovered by some of the players as well is that the demo ships are no longer as bugged as they were before. Apparently they can still detonate multiple times, but the Imperial upgrade no longer, blows up your whole land military with one shot. Now, I don't have a recording of this in action, but I have seen clips on YouTube of where the demo ship is actually blasting within a reasonable radius, which is great to see and something that we can look forward to in the near future. Alright guys, we're going to take a look at some of the new hotkey changes, and there is a lot of them, which is really cool to see. The first one we're going to take a look at is the sticky selection. Now, to be honest, I don't really know what this means. I haven't tested it. Let me know in the comments if you do know what it means and exactly what it does. But basically, what it says is controls whether left clicking the ground deselects units. Not sure again really what that means. But one really nice one that I like is the exclusive control group. When enabled, adding a unit to a control group will remove them from all other control groups. Meaning, if you have, say, a unit in control group 1 with a bunch of others, and then you change it to, and then you put it in control group 2 as well, it will no longer be a part of control group 1. Meaning there won't be any overlap with your unit. Only your one unit can only be a part of one control group, so it can't be a part of 2 control groups. Now, this is a feature that I personally like. Some people may prefer to have this off and allow a unit to be in multiple control groups, but I really like it for the micro aspect of the game. If I have, say, horsemen, archers, and pikes, I don't want any of those to be overlapping. I want to be able to have my pikes in control group 3 and manually micro them separately to the archers. So I'll have my archers in control group 1, horsemen in control group 2, and pikes in control group 3 with no overlap, which is really nice. Cycle through sub-selected units, meaning you can basically go through all the units that you've selected on, which is cool. But it also allows you to select if you want to go center of camera, or if you don't want to like snap your camera back to that control group, you can have select only. So nice as well there. Now we're going to take a look at the mapping of control groups. Still got grid keys, but we have a lot more to work with in the common keys. So here we go. This one is a bug, don't worry about that. These ones were all in the game, these were in the game. Here we go. Cycle through all of your individual types of different buildings. So you can cycle through your barracks units, archery ranges, stables. So if you wanted to, you could select hotkeys for them. To be honest, I haven't gone in and mapped out my hotkeys to the full extent of what the beta has available. I did a few select hotkeys that I really liked, but this is something I'll be working on in the future. Also make a guide on, basically I'll be figuring out what is the most optimal way of mapping my hotkeys so that I can take full advantage of these. So one thing for me personally, I don't have the highest APM, and I'd imagine like a lot of you players that are watching this video might not have the highest APM, and using hotkeys is a great way to efficiently do things without having crazy actions per minute. That's what APM stands for, by the way, actions per minute. Basically how fast you can click and move across the map and all that kind of stuff. So being able to cycle through your different types of buildings is nice. A lot of these I don't find that useful, like cycling through individual lumber camps. Not that useful, so I'll probably be selecting a few of these. But these ones personally I don't find too valuable, especially the cycle through the walls. We come down further though, we have these ones which are perfect. I really like these. These were something I was implementing in Age of Empires 3 and hadn't been available until the ranked beta here. So now we can select all barracks, all archery ranges, stables, etc, which is really nice. So instead of having to select all military buildings, you can select the types of military buildings that you like. For now I have them on the F keys, but that's likely to change in the future. You can do the same with basically every type of building, which is really nice. This one's a bit questionable though. I thought they removed this bug. You can't have multiple overs. What are you doing in here? And now we can remove selected units from control groups. This is something that was quite frustrating, I feel like. In order to like reassign control groups, you had to manually like select all the units you want, put them in control group, and then select all the units, put them in another control group to remove certain units from a certain control group. So now instead of having to do that, you can literally just select like the 1 or 2 units that you want and remove them from a control group. For example, if you're running around with a big pack of knights and you want to deselect a few of them and throw them in a different direction to like raid their wood line or something like that, you can now do that pretty easily now with this. The other alternative is also to have the previous setting, exclusive control groups. I'll do the same thing if you wanted to take 3 knights away from your big pack and just put them in a separate group. That'll also remove them from the initial group as well. But if you have this off, then that option for removing from your control groups is really nice. I'm not sure if these were in it before, the pings, but not something I use a lot because mostly playing 1v1s. And I'm honestly not the best person to take a look at these hotkeys for observer mode because I didn't do a whole lot of casting and it wasn't my main priority. So I'm not sure how many of these are new or if it's literally, it looks like it's just the same as what it was before. But yeah, some really nice additions to the extra control groups, the extra control group functions, selecting all your types of buildings, cycling through buildings as well. And yeah, those are really, really nice changes. Something probably should have been on launch, but we're taking a look at the positives here and some of the good changes that they've implemented here. If there is anything I've missed in the kind of mapping of your control groups or anything, let me know down in the comments. There is probably something that I have missed, but these changes are really nice. A lot of good changes in the ranked beta here, so I'm looking forward to the progress that Age of Empires 4 makes. A lot of great changes. Balance changes are slowly moving in the right direction as well. The last patch was really nice, and I expect the future patches will be solid as well. Hopefully the the long needed Mongol nerf, just to bring them down a touch as they are extremely dominant right now. But yeah, so some of the other changes that are more relevant to custom games rather than ladder games is a few cool things. So where are we? Where are we? Where are we? So you can reveal on elimination now, so you can see the map once you've been eliminated completely, which is cool if you're just playing a friendly game and you want to spectate the full game rather than just what your allies can see. There was another one here, display player scores. So this isn't available in ranked, you don't get to see scores, but if you are interested in having scores displayed, you can do that in your custom games now. Let's take a look at the changes that were made to the spawns for a lot of the different maps here. First, we're going to take a look at Ancient Spires. Now, one thing you may notice, there's no deep sea. This is a change that it looks like they've made consistent across all of the spawns I've checked on this map. So if we take a look at all the ponds, there's no deep sea fish, which is great for balance. Quite often in games, you'd find yourself spawning with 2 ponds with deep sea fish on your side, or vice versa for your opponent, and basically they are going to get, or you are going to get, whoever has the deep sea fish, a huge boost in our food economy compared to your opponent, because deep sea fish gathers quite a lot faster. I have checked these spawns multiple times, about 6 times, and all of the spawns had no deep sea fish, which is really nice to see, to be honest. Now we're going to take a look at Confluence. One thing, small change, but as you may have noticed, 2 deer patches spawning on the original island for both players. Now, in most of the spawns, this will be the case, but occasionally you'll have like the deers maybe spawn slightly on the edge of the island next to you. But basically, you can expect that 2 deer patches will spawn on your side, and if it hasn't, just check the edges of the islands next door to you. As you can see on this spawn as well, a lot more resources on one side of the island compared to the other. I've noticed this to be a little bit of the trend. I'm not sure if this is intentional or whatnot. As you can see, there's just a lot of stray trees on this side compared to the bottom side. Small changes for Confluence, but that's basically what we're going to see. I didn't notice anything else different about the maps. So yeah, let's move on to the next. Alright, now we're looking at Nagari here. As you can see, the middle pond is a lot smaller. So, meaning it is a fair bit easier to go across to your opponent's side of the map because there's less water to walk around. But it also puts an emphasis on controlling middle water even more, because as you can see, the back ponds don't have deep sea fish. This was consistent across all the map spawns that I've come across, not a single deep sea fish on either side, which is interesting. I think it's going to make Delhi even more dominant on this map. This is the one map where I think Delhi really thrives, because there's not much your opponent can do to stop Delhi cheese in the early stages of Age 1 with their fishing ships. So it gives more of an opportunity for Delhi to hold the middle, and now the middle is even more vital because the back ends, if you wanted to do a fish boom on your side, or if it spawns down the bottom and top, you're not going to have deep sea fish, so your food income is not going to be nearly as good as whoever has middle control. Alright, now we are taking a look at Boulder Bay. One thing you may notice is on the map, look at all these fishies. There is so many deep sea fish on Boulder Bay now, which means controlling water is probably even more important than it was. I don't think it makes a huge change, obviously, honestly, just because, I mean, it was pretty rare you were running out of deep sea fish before. Obviously, there was some games, if you're doing a really big fish boom, you would kind of have to come out to your opponent's side to collect deep sea fish. That is no longer the case. Also, when you put your dock down at the start, you won't be missing a bunch of deep sea fish all along the shore. There's plenty of it, and as you can see, it's pretty unlucky if you weren't able to get close deep sea fish. This side does have a few less, but you won't be missing any. I think it makes it a little bit more balanced in terms of getting access to deep sea fish early, but you are able to water boom like a madman on this map now if you get full water control. Now, some people were telling me there was changes to French Pass, but I honestly can't see anything different. There's still 2 markets at the backside, still a ton of gold in the middle, still the 2 sacred sites. So, in my opinion, it doesn't look to be changed too much. I don't know where I heard it, but I heard that people were saying there's more markets on the map now, but the same. Largely the same to me. So, no changes on French Pass. I did take a look at a few variations of this and didn't see anything different. Well, that covers everything, guys. Everything in the ranked beta that I came across. If you did find anything else, let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you all did enjoy this video and got a peek into what is coming up for Age of Empires 4. So thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy the content, please consider liking and subscribing. I will catch you all in the next one, guys. Peace out.